Test 1, question 18. Which of the following correlation coefficients Test 1, question 18. Which of the following correlation coefficients represents the weakest correlation? Alright, so for this next problem we're going to introduce yet another concept that you're probably not familiar with. Consider the following scatter plot. This is a plot made up of many data points, maybe consider like a laboratory experiment where you've collected data and you can see that this scatter plot follows a general trend. And if we were to try to denote this trend, we might draw a line through it that looks like this. And we would call this line a trend line, or sometimes a linear regression line. When we want to denote how accurate our linear regression or trend line matches with our data, we use something called the correlation coefficient. So the correlation coefficient is a number that tells us how strongly our line relates to our scatter plot. Our correlation coefficient is a number that ranges between -1 and 1, where -1 represents -100% and +1 represents 100%. Now the negative sign, we'll come back to that in just a minute, but don't worry about the negative sign. What we're really considering is 0% is completely uncorrelated to 100%, which is completely correlated. So we can say that for a value of 1 or 100%, we have a perfect correlation. Something like this is pretty close to what we want for a perfect correlation, whereas 0%, we'll look at a couple of examples to clarify. Alright, so here we have three sets of scatter plots. In the first scatter plot, we can see that the line passes pretty well through the data points. In the second scatter plot, we can see that the line passes through it sort of, and it kind of gets the idea, but it seems to be skewed off a little bit. And then finally here we have a scatter plot where the line is trending downwards instead of upwards. So in this case, we could say that we have a strong correlation coefficient. So this is close to 1. In this case, we can say that this correlation is not very strong. So in this case, we could say that the correlation is closer to 0. In this case, as we're trending downwards, we can say that since this is a pretty good correlation, that this is close to -1. So the negative sign just denotes that it's going downward. Now knowing this, we can say that a strong correlation is a correlation who is closer to 1, and a weak correlation is one closer to 0. Looking at our answer choices, we can see that -0.9 is strong, -0.1 is weak, and the others are sort of in the middle. So our answer choice is going to be answer choice B, as that is the weakest correlation. Thank you for watching this video. These math tutorials are based on the TSI Assessments Secrets study guide by Mometrix. You can find the 2016 version here, or the 2020 version, which was updated based on the TSI 2.0 exam. If you would like to reach out to the instructor, you can reach out at the email on screen, or if you have general questions for Del Mar College Veterans Upward Bound, you can reach out at vub@delmar.edu, or text or call the number on the screen. Finally, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.